Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop review. This is part 264. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Halfway through the week, almost done with the work week. Let's get it on, alright? With that being said, the album that I would like to review this afternoon will be Puff Daddy and the Family with No Way Out, released in 1997. This is his debut album, alright? This album is very controversial in the hip hop world. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows that. People said like '97 was the year that hip hop died because of Biggie and albums like this. Reign of Supreme and things like that in the direction of hip hop. At that time period, people was trying to follow the bad boy route, like that sound and stuff like that. It's kind of like equivalent to like where like back in the late '80s where a lot of East Coast artists they had to do like hip house music, because that was the thing, that was the trend at that time. So in the late '90s, unfortunately, people was trying to follow the bad boy route, and a lot of people failed. You know what I mean? So, but I'll get more into that towards the end of the video. But yeah, Puff Daddy, No Way Out, released 1997. You guys should know who Diddy is. I'm gonna call him Diddy because Puff Daddy just sounds mad. I'm not used to call him Puff, like I back in the day, yes, but now I'm so used to calling him Diddy and things like that. But we call him Puff, whatever. I don't know what we want to call him, but anyways, the story goes with Puff. He got his start back in the early '90s. He was kind of like a talent director of Uptown Records. He got his start with Uptown Records, home of Mary J. Blige, Heavy D, Herb McGruff, countless other artists over there. Father MC, things like that. So like I said, he was a talent director over there. He was responsible for the careers of Mary J. Blige and Jodeci. He was pretty much he's the one that like founded them. He found them, discovered them, and the careers that they have now. You can thank Puffy for that. All right. So you got that. He's worked with countless artists like Mary J. Blige, TLC, Mariah Carey, and all that stuff and things of that nature. Then in 1991, he held like an event for Heavy D. I think it was to promote his Peaceful Journey album that came out in '91 that year. But there was a mishap with that event. It was like kind of like a pep rally. Something happened to where like people started to run out of the stadium, and because of that, nine people got killed in that stampede, and that caused a lot of flack. Puff caught a lot of flack for that. So with that being said, he's worked with a lot of like Super Cat and people like that. Like I said, he was heavy with Heavy D, and in 1993 he actually got let go by Andre Harrell. Rest in peace, Andre Harrell from Motown Records, and he started Bad Boy Records from then on, and countless, and then that's when the story goes from up. Craig Mack with Project Funk the World, Biggie, Faith Evans, all that stuff, and LOX and all that stuff, things of that nature. And also, I just want to put this out there. Craig Mack is the first artist on Bad Boy Records to go platinum. Not Biggie. People think that because Biggie was like the more successful artist out of Bad Boy Records, but Craig Mack, rest in peace to both Biggie and Craig Mack. But Craig Mack was the first MC or just artist in general in Bad Boy Records to be certified platinum, but he doesn't get the credit for that. So that's how I thought it out there. So getting back to that, the success of Biggie with Ready to Die and things of that nature, and then like Mace started getting into the picture because at the time Mace, he's part of Children of the Corn, but he didn't get into the picture until like '96. And of course, how can I forget Total? I'm Total. Oh my God, their first two, their second album, Keisha Pam, classic. That's their best album. Their first album, I was a little it was okay. I gotta revisit it. I remember not liking it too much, but their second album, fire. But getting back to that, Mace, started getting into the picture, right after this whole stint with Children of the Corn, and then the rest is history. Biggie, you know, with the whole East Coast West Coast beef and all that. I'm not gonna get into too much of that, but you guys should know all of that. And then eventually he ended up dropping this album right here. All right, so yeah, so No Way Out. Um, there's 5 singles off this album. The singles are Victory, which I forgot there was actually a video for that. Victory was a single. Been Around the World. Um, it's All About the Benjamins is the remix version. I've Been Missing You and Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. Those are the 5 singles of the album. All right. So you know how I get down. I'm gonna show you what the album looks like. As you can see here, you know you see Puffy in the middle right here. You got Sheik Luch. You got Jadakiss. No, I'm sorry. You got Sheik Luch, Styles P, Diddy, Puff, Jadakiss, Mace, and Black Rob. All right. Yeah. So that's it. So it's pretty cool. Kind of has like that Godfather kind of look to it. Oh, another thing too. With this album, the original title of the album was supposed to be called Puff Daddy and the Goodfellas. Was I'm kind of glad that didn't happen because that was. I mean, I love the mafioso era of rap, which is like the mid '90s, but only so many artists could get away with that. Like people like Nas, AZ, Cool G Rap, Herb McGruff, and countless, but not too much. Oh, Fat Joe, how could I forget that? He could definitely get away with that, but it would have been deemed kind of corny. You know what I mean? Because that I remember that shit going rampant and that kind of thing. And I love that, but just coming from Diddy, nah, it just wasn't a good look. Then he changed it to Hell Up in Harlem, but he changed that because of the death of Biggie, so he didn't want to do that. But I kind of have mixed feelings about that because even though yes, Diddy was born in Harlem, that's another thing I have to bring that up too because his father was Melvin Combs, who was an associate. He was a drug dealer. He worked for Frank Lucas that they made the movie for America's Nightmare. That's what the movie's based on. But Melvin Flint. Sorry, I'm thinking of Nori. Melvin Combs was his father. Worked for Frank Lucas. He ended up getting killed back in '71 when Puffy was 2 years old. So I had to throw that out there. But the reason why I bring that up is because even though he was born in Harlem, he was raised in Manhattan. He was raised in Mount Vernon, and that's how he got acquainted to like Pete Rock, CL Smooth, and Heavy D and all that stuff. But it seemed like he never mentions Mount Vernon. You know what I mean? He just kind of forgets that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of I feel some type of way about this. Kind of the same vein of where whatchamacallit that Busta Rhymes tells about how he reps Brooklyn, but there was a time period he lived in Uniondale in Long Island in Nassau County, and yes, but he tends to forget that part. But he always want to rep Brooklyn. But no size. But so I throw it out there. So and then eventually came out with No Way Out. All right, so let me show you what the CD looks like. Like I showed you guys before. Open it up. Let me take the booklet out. That's what the CD looks like. All right, pretty cool. Then you got the D, the double D. Kind of has like that paying homage to like the Rolls Royce, that kind of thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. Everybody knows that picture. That's where it came from. Very famous picture. You know what I mean? Pretty cool. So I could imagine this was like taken during the life after death photo shoot sessions and things like that. He kind of took that and then that kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. All right, open it up. All right, pretty cool. All right, cool pics. You got them in the brownstone. Like I said, kind of has like that Bumpy Johnson. Harlem back in the Renaissance era, you know what I mean? Pretty cool. So that's like the theme that they're going for. So I thought that was pretty cool, Alright, dope pictures. Oh, sorry. Got that. Yeah, pretty cool. Alright, so let's get into the features of the album. Alright, let me start where it starts from here. Okay, features of the album. You got Biggie, Busta Rhymes, Mace, Lil Kim, Carl Thomas, Jay-Z, Black Rob, um, The LOX or LOX, I mentioned before, Genuine, Twista, LOX I mentioned before, Foxy Brown, Faith Evans, 112, Mace. Alright. Now let's get into the producers of the album. Stevie J, Puffy, Ahmed Ra Lawrence, D Dot, Derek D Dot, Angeletti. Ahmed Ra, dope producer. He did the beat for Where I'm From, for Jay-Z on the In My Lifetime, but D Dot actually talks about that on My Expert Opinion, where he kind of did like the where he says that Amon Ra did the track, but then he kind of like enhanced the track, if you will. You know what I mean? So that's what D Dot was talking about with this song. So yeah, getting back to the producers, Nasheem Merrick, another dope producer. Amon Ra I mentioned before, J Dub, D Dot I mentioned before, Rashad Smith, dope producer. D that I mentioned before, Nasheem Merrick I mentioned before, Jazz or Jazzo. At that time, he was going by Big Jazz back in the mid '90s, and then he changed to Jazzo in the late '90s. Puffy, Stevie J I mentioned before, Yogi, dope producer, Yogi of the Crew, dope group, dope group. That Dirty Dirty album from '97. Dope, yeah, dope album. I gotta do a review on that album one day. Carlos Brody, dope. 6th July, Brody for fucking dope. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now let's get into the tracks. All right, let's get into the tracks. Let me just put this back into the booklet. Hold on. I might go all over the place, fellas. I do apologize. Yes, probably put it back in. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes. All right, track one, No Way Out, is an intro. It's produced by Stevie J. It's a skit of Diddy just praying over like a hymn, praising God and to protect him and his friends, to forgive his enemies, that kind of thing. So kind of sets the tone of the album, that kind of thing. Track two, Victory, featuring Notorious B.I.G. and Busta Rhymes or Biggie. I don't usually call him Notorious B.I.G. I just call him Biggie. Dope way to start the album. It's the fifth and final single of the album. That beat alone, I think they sampled from the Rocky soundtrack, the first one. But man, fucking classic track right there. So many people have rapped over that, freestyle over that. Banks has a dope freestyle. Lord Banks has a dope freestyle over that track. He fucking kills that shit. But like to me again, dope way to start the album, sets the tone of the album in my opinion. I like the line by Biggie when he said, "No respect, squeeze off till you all diminish. Shootouts for 20 minutes till we finish. Venice took out the loot, took the loot, escaping the coupe. Break bread with the kiss. Pinero, chic loots. Black Roy joined the mob. It ain't replacing them. Niggas step up, we matching them, placing them in funerals. Criminals turn around to Brick City. Nobody come off like P Diddy. This yeah, so that was dope. From what I was told, from what I looked up, that was like the actual last verse that he actually recorded before his death. I think it was like the day they said like it was reported like the day before he died. He recorded that track, so I thought it was kind of interesting to know about that. So it was pretty interesting. But Victory was the fifth and final single of the album. Fucking dope shit right there. Track 3, Been Around the World, featuring Biggie and Mace. That was produced by Stevie J, D Dot, and Amon Ra. That was the fourth single of the album. Dope track right there. I like the line by Mace when he said, "Niggas know we go against Harlem Gigolo. Get your hoe, lick her low, make the bitch hit the door. I represent honeys with money, fly guys with gems, drive with the tents, that be 35%. Hoes hope I lay, so I look both ways. Cops say it's okay, my tits smoke gray. Woo! Like, Mace gets a lot of hate, but the son is nasty. Mace could spit. I gotta get his Harlem World album. I do have his Double Up album from '99. I picked up a couple of months ago. I have to get the Harlem World, so I have to get that one day to do a review on that album. But yeah, dope track. Yeah, Mace is dope. You know, I'm glad that him and Cam they reconciled and they're doing that show. It is what it is. I didn't see any episodes. I seen like clips of it, but they're pretty funny together. They're pretty hilarious, man. So, yeah. So that's Harlem shit right there. You know what I mean? So that was track 3, Been Around the World. Track 4, What You Gonna Do? Dope track that was produced by Nasheem Merrick, Amin Ra, and Diddy. Dope track right there. I like the line by Diddy when he said, "Now I'm free to go, free to blow with the Calicos and Navajos. It's just the way the players know." That was dope. Another line when he said, "That's why niggas want to twist my shit, flip my wig, attempt to murder me like Tommy Gibbs. Before they draw, niggas drew me." Sorry, I gotta turn the page. This is what he said. Threw me through the floor, drill holes in my pocket. Sam on the rocket. You can tell Biggie wrote. Yeah, you can tell Biggie wrote this. Just the flow and stuff like that. You can tell Biggie wrote that or had something to do with that. All right. So that was track 4. What You Gonna Do? Track 5. Don't Stop What You're Doing. That was produced by Amin Ra. It features Little Kim. Yeah, it features Little Kim. It uses the "Don't Stop the Music" by the sample by Yarborough and Peoples. I was not a fan of that song. I like the sample, the actual song, but I feel like that song Puffy don't sound good over that. Like that sound like that sample to me sounds better over West Coast artists. Like for example, Doomsday Production with Break 'Em Off. They use that sample. Tupac had a song called "Don't Stop the Music." He uses the same sample, but he sounds good over that. It sounds better over West Coast artists, in my opinion. So that's just me. All right. So that was track 5. Don't Stop What You're Doing. Didn't really care for that. The beat is dope, but it just didn't sound dope over with Puff. That's just my personal opinion. Track 6, If I Should Die Tonight, interlude featuring Carl Thomas. He's just pretty much saying that he feels like he sees too much death and stuff like that. He just feels like life is not even worth living. He just feels like dying is the solution. Then you got over like a somber beat. Carl Thomas doing like the ad-libs and stuff like that. It's kind of somber. That could have been a dope song for him to do, but it definitely serves its purpose with that though. You know what I mean? But yeah. So that was track 6. Do You Know? If I Should Die Tonight. Excuse me. Track 7. Do You Know? Is not. She's not featured. She's not credited on it, but Kelly Price is actually on the song. It was produced by D-Dot and Diddy. It's an okay track. I didn't really care for that. That's like one of those songs I skipped and stuff like that, so didn't really care for that. Track 8, Young G's, one of my favorite tracks of the album. Fucking love this song. That definitely should have been a video. They should have definitely had a video for that, in my personal opinion. Whew, man, that was produced by Rashad Smith. It features Jay-Z, Biggie, and Kelly Price once again. Again, one of my favorite tracks of the album. Fucking J. Cole had a body with this shit. I love the line where he says, "These here the dog ears and motherfuckers don't shed. I try to bring you life, but motherfuckers want dead. So I travel with the barrel, with the chrome, with the lead, cause when it's on, then it's on. Then the shots flowing through your head. I've been rich, I've been poor. I saved and I blow bread." Fucking love that. Another line by Jay when he said, "No, they ain't fully prepared for the new world order, so I heap it ghetto like sunflower seeds in quarter waters." Woo! See, this is Jay, in my lifetime Jay. Jay in his prime years, yo. I don't care what nobody says. Like, man, Jay at one point was a monster, man. I don't know. Over the years, it's been kind of whatever. But I'm never getting into that because I know people hate on me because of my opinion on Jay. But I think Jay's one of the goals. But I think over the years, his discography has gone shaky over the years. That's just my personal opinion. And no, I don't like the Black album. So I think that shit sucks. It's like his worst album. It's one of his worst albums. But now getting back to this album. Uh, Track 9, I Love You Baby, featuring Black Rob. Dope track. That was produced by Amin Ra, J Wax, Havoc. I mentioned Havoc because on the if you read Prodigy's in My Infamous Life book, which caused a lot of controversy, um I remember they contacted Havoc to send some beats. They had like a beat tape. One of them was Last Days, and another song was I Love You Baby, but he never got credit for that. But he got credit for Last Days, but for not that. And when you listen to the beat, you could kind of tell that was a Havoc beat, just by the bass lines and the drums and stuff like that. It just sounds a lot more polished, a lot more polished. Even though Hell on Earth was polished, it was polished, but it was still dirty at the same time. Not to mention my favorite Mobb Deep album, but that's a whole different story. But when you listen to the beat, you could definitely tell that was a Havoc beat just by the bass line alone. So I just had to throw it out there. But another one of my favorite tracks, Black Rock fucking called a body. In the song, he talks about a girl that he met in like Washington Heights and like around Dykeman or whatever the case may be, and he was meeting up with a girl, just kicking it, whatever, and he's trying to kick game to her. He's like, yo, I only so to speak. She was just saying like I only fuck with drug dealers, that kind of thing. Like, yo, like I'm about that work, I be putting in the work, what's up. So they kicking it, whatever the case may be, and then he sees some guys, like looking at their direction, looking towards him, and it's like, yo, they look kind of suspicious, on Black Rob's, point of view. It's like, yo, you know them? It's like, yeah, I know them. Little till you know, he set that girl, the girl set up Black Rob to get murked, to get lined up. So I just thought that had to throw that out there. So it's like a dope storyline. So it's pretty dope. I like the line by Black Rob when he says, "Roll the dice, fucking with me. It's like snake eyes. I break guys, sit back and watch the cake rise. It's all about the business. True that, be the model. Ran out of ammo, started throwing bottles. Woo! Killed that shit. Recipes of Black Rob, man. Fucking dope. His first two albums, Life Story and the Black Rob Report that came out in '05, fucking dope. That Black Rob Report album is super underrated. I don't hear nobody talks about that album. And I know they just put out Life Story 2. It's on YouTube. I've heard some songs. Not bad. It's actually pretty good. I fucks with it. You know what I mean? And I think D-Dot did some of the production on that album, so I throw it out there. Alright, so that was track 9. I Love You Baby. Track 10. It's all about the Benjamins. This is the remix version. This is the third single of the album, featuring Biggie, Little Kim, and LOX, aka LOX. Let me get a swig of water because I'm getting parched. All right. So, the funny thing with this song, the reason why it's the remix, is because I think the original version, so the original version, it was on the mixtape. It was first heard on the mixtape, and there was a line that Jadakiss said about Hebrews, about Jewish people, where he said, "You should do what we do, stack chips like Hebrews." So, if you listen to the album version, they blurred out the song Hebrews. I guess because at that time, like, they trying to be political correct, because it's showing like the stigma that all Jewish people are all about money and things like that. So to be PC, they had to blur out Hebrews and that kind of thing. So said I thought it out there. But pretty much the song, the whole premise of the song is about making money, making that bread. It's all about just enjoying money, just exploiting money, things like that. Just enjoying, just loving money, that kind of thing. Fucking dope shit like that. I love the line by Jada when he says, "Wanna hold figures, fuck being a broke nigga, drink malt liquor, driving a broke vigor in my most sippers, and I'm with most sippers, watched by gold diggers, rock Jabot denim with gold zippers." Woo! He killed that shit, man. Fucking dope shit. That was a dope track by yeah, dope track right there. One of my favorite tracks of the album. Um, track um 11, Pain. Dope track. One of my favorite tracks of the album is a Diddy solo track. That was produced by Diddy himself and Nasheem Merrick. Dope track. In this song, he talks about the murders of his father and Biggie. Just reflects the pain that he went through at that time. Fucking dope shit. I like the line when he says, "Sometimes I want to pull it, end it all with a bullet. Hard to live with the life to the fullest with all this bullshit." Excuse me. Mad as fuck, a nigga had enough. From Jump Street, saw my father murder massacre stash. Once one shot took half of his brain. I would capture that pain. Fucking dope. That was fucking dope. My only gripe though is that I just wish they would have put "If I Should Die Tonight" before Pain. That would have made more sense. Or they should have put the "If I Should Die Tonight" after It's All About the Benjamins. They should have done that. It just should have been that. Just kind of just so that it could have coincided with that track. It just would have made sense. You know what I mean? So this is my opinion about that. So that was track 11, Pain. Track 12 is Just the End, featuring Genuine, Twister, and Carl Thomas. This was produced by Stevie J and Diddy. In a nutshell, I guess this would be like what Diddy's version of Notorious Thugs. And the reason why I say that is because I believe Stevie J did the beat for Notorious Thugs. I gotta look back. It's been a while since I heard that album. I heard the song, but I don't remember. I think Stevie J did the beat for that. But Diddy tried that flow on this song, and it just did not sound good. He just no, like Diddy, no. No, 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 no. It did not sound good. Biggie did it, but you can't do that. That's not you. So I just have to throw it out there. That song, the beat is dope. It's a dope beat, but it would have sounded better on like Twisted Adrenaline Rush or something that excuse me, that Do or Die or the Picture This album or Heads or Tails, like in that vein, that Midwest flow. Yes, it would have been dope on that, but not with Diddy. It didn't work with him, so I just had to throw it out there. So that song is a no go. So I'm not going with that. All right. Track 13, I Got the Power. That's produced by Diddy, Stevie J, and Jazzo, featuring LOX. I always felt like that was more of an LOX song. I never cared for the beat though. I'm not gonna lie. That don't nah, I didn't care for that. But the lyrics made up for it. Fucking Styles P caught a body with that track where he said, "Shorty bopped the wall up, this in the spot with the dulop. Pot full of acid, I got the game mastered. Move dimes, hit 20, addicted to get money. It could be 100 degrees, I never look sunny." Fucking love that. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you hear the track, it feels more of a LOX song. You know, something that possibly could have been on their first album, Money, Power, Respect. I would have to do a review on one of these days. So yeah. So that's track 13. I Got the Power. Track 14, Friend, featuring Foxy Brown. That was produced by Diddy and Stevie J. Didn't care for that song. It's not one of my favorites. I couldn't go without that, honestly. Alright. Almost done, people. Alright, so we got like three more tracks. Alright. Track 15, Senorita. That's featuring La India, Melissa Feldson, I think. Yeah. Oh, let's give me 1 second, people. Give me 1 second. Yes, featuring La India. So in this track, he talks about his love interest, like a girl that he's trying to holler at, but that chick is in a bad relationship, but he's trying to save her from that relationship. If that makes sense. So that's what I got from that song, Senorita. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was an okay track, wasn't yeah. But that was pretty much the premise of the song. Like he was trying to pretty much be a Captain Save a All right. Track 16, I'll Be Missing You, featuring Faith Evans and 112. Very controversial track for a couple of reasons. Reason being, well, obviously the song is about his tribute to Biggie, Biggie's death. Couple of reasons why it's controversial. It samples the song "Every Breath You Take" by the Police, and Sting didn't like that. So because of that, he owns 100% of the royalties. So Puffy don't make no money off that song. I think he owns it up until like 2063. Something to that degree. I have to look it up, but yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, no, yeah. So I'm looking it up right now. So yeah, so saying Sting sued, receiving 100% of the song's royalties, with payments reportedly going until 2053. That's fucking crazy. So he'll be dead by then. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So yeah. Another reason why it's controversial is because Sauce Money actually he ghostwrote the song. All right, he wrote the lyrics for him, but he never got compensated for that. And I remember I think it wasn't until a couple of years ago that Jay-Z actually had to intervene, made the call to Puff. They worked whatever they worked out, and then that's when he started getting his money, and he actually got paid for that. So sorry to throw that out there for you guys. But yeah, like I said, a dedicated song that kind of thing. Dedicated to Biggie and that kind of thing. So sorry to throw that out there. I didn't really write any lyrics to it, but just had to throw it out there. And last song, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, featuring Mace. Did not like that song at all. Didn't care for that. I never liked that song. Uses the Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. That song sampled that. The Message. That was actually the first single of the album. The chorus is from the Break My Heart by Matthew Wilder. So I fucking love that song. But just wasn't it. So I didn't really care for that. So now, with that being said, my overall thoughts of the album. I fucks with this album. I actually liked it. I remember when I first heard it years ago, I was like everybody else. I hated the album. I wanted to hate the album. I hated the album. Didn't like it at all. Did not like it at all. But over the years, I got older. Matured. I gave the album another listen, and because I make beats, I can appreciate some of the production on the album, that kind of thing, and it's like, alright, cool. I fucks with it, you know what I mean? Even though Diddy is a piece of shit, we already know he's going through this little thing with Cassie and all that, and Aaron Hall and all that, but I'm not here to talk about that. Fuck all that. But I still think he's a scumbag. Just shit like that, because of shit like that, and just how he was as an artist, or like a business person, that what he did to his artists, people like G-Dep, Shine, Black Rob, Biggie, and stuff, Mace, and stuff like that. So, Locks, how can I forget Locks, So, that's one of the main reasons why I don't really fuck with Diddy like that. But, dope album. Is it a classic? Not to me. To some people, it might be. But, I understand why people will call it a classic, because it kind of changed the game, the soundscape of the game, because back in the early to mid 90s, it was all about the jazz samples and things like that. But people like Puffy, D Dot, people like that, kind of changed the game with sampling like top 40 songs from the 70s and 80s and things like that. So it kind of changed a new sound, that kind of thing. So how we bitch about which I'm one of those people where I'm starting to see a lot of artists today sampling from 90s hip hop, but it doesn't sound good. It's how people was doing that back in the 90s when they're sampling songs from the 80s and 70s, and because keep in mind this is 1996 7, so he sampled Every Breath You Take. That came out in 83, so that was 14 years before that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, so you could only imagine. But you see, back then, hip hop, at that time was creative. I always felt like the 90s was like the Renaissance era of hip hop. I don't care what nobody says. It's like, I felt like the 90s was that decade of creativity when it came to hip hop, in my personal opinion. So, shit that you will never see again that people try to duplicate. Some have failed, some have succeeded, but the 90s is the 90s, man. And that, with that being said, Puff Daddy and the Family, No Way Out, released in 1997. I believe he was 27 when he dropped this album. So what does that tell you? So it's never too late. All right. That being said, let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Y'all be easy.